Let's play families. Hello everyone, welcome back. We are having a nice barbecue in the garden for Dennis. This has been organized by his parents, Chrissy and Jeffrey, who are obviously overcompensating for the time that they don't spend with their son. They're usually absent-minded or absent, period. And they decide to go all out and overboard to give him a treat like this for him and his friends, so he doesn't feel left out, and just to make him feel all the more special. There are hot dogs, burgers, pizzas, and Chrissy's doing everything she can to make it work, but it's not turning out as planned. But Jeffrey is super skilled when it comes to making burgers and so on. And if you're wondering because you don't know, then these platters come from the kids' party event that happened in 2018. Here is one of Dennis's friends. She's got these shell earrings because she has a hobby that's a shell picker at the beach in the Mystery Island. When you complete, you get the shell earrings and some other accessories, and they're beautiful. And I thought it went nicely with this outfit that she's got here, and I love those shoes. But this is one of his friends, and he has two others that are here. You can only have 6 Sims on the AR plot. So he's got one friend who's off the bouncy castle, one still bouncing on the trampoline. Let's get her to have a hot dog. She's been bouncing away all morning. We've got to nourish the girl. So these hot dogs have great detail on them. Since playing in AR mode, I can see a lot more detail to some of the items we received, and it's fantastic. Yes, some of you are wondering about the phone call that came in at the last episode. You are right. Mistress Lillian was calling Jeffrey on the office line that he gave her, but he was unable to pick up and didn't even hear it because he was busy making his wife happy. Speaking of his wife, she's going to step away for a minute and pop down to her workplace. She's an artist, and she's going to leave everything here in the capable hands of her husband, Jeffrey. She owns an art museum. She's had to pop down here for a little bit just to fix a little problem with one of the art pieces, and then she'll be back with her family. This art museum that I've recently built for her has a lovely sculpture garden. The building is exquisite, and I just love it so much because it's got a lot of arts and culture infused into it, and you're going to see what it looks like as we go inside. So she owns this building. She's quite well off herself. She doesn't depend on her husband 100% at all. They are equal partners financially, managing their life, and this is the space that she owns. She does have a number of staff working for her, and she is basically the mastermind behind all these great pieces of art that you find in Sims Town. And every Sim who comes here buys a piece of art, or a collection of them, if I might say, and places them in their homes. So I decided to set out even all the sculptures that we have as well, and basically it just turned out to be a really beautiful space for an artist, and I'm going to take her upstairs soon to do a painting, but first let's tour the area. You come into the red room and you have, let's say, retro art, and up here you've got a line of lights, and so that space makes sense on the top of the build. It was something that I made by accident. A lot of things I do in my build are by accident, and then it makes sense, and it's perfect for me anyway. It is, but I just love the way you have another layer of lights and another floor shining down into the space, and then when you come out through this arch you can still see the space we just came from in a roundabout way. And then you have another room here, let's call it the peach room. She would single-handedly design these Easter eggs and paint them and have them showcased that way. This luscious green wall art and so on. But this item here is beautiful. You know, I remember thinking to myself, I want to have this in my town, but it cost, I think, LP, but in AR you can place these down anyway, and they're lovely. It's just beautiful. So that's the peach room, and from what I've seen in real life art museums, the rooms connect to one another. There aren't really doors separating the spaces. We have the Victorian lilac room here, and I decided to place the more traditional pieces in here, as you can see, and these beautiful wall tapestries hanging on the corner there. Then we have another room past the stairwell that goes upstairs. We'll see that soon. And maybe this is modern art. You see the edgy photos that, look like just women. I'm hoping we'll get some men. This is not fair. We need artwork that have men in it, edgy looking men like you see these edgy looking women. And then through here we have the restroom, and that's the part that faces the sculpture garden. So you've got the area where you can wash your hands here, some magazines if you're going to stay in there for that long. This is toilet number 1 with some art on the wall, and over at the far end as well we have toilet number 2. It is unisex in a way. There are 2, so you can just come in and do your own thing. I just didn't have the space to make another set of toilets. I could, but I chose not to. So when you come upstairs, you then have access to her office, and it's still an art space. It's very artsy. So you can hang your coat down in the corner there, sit down here, get some work done, and that's why she's here. There's just a few things she needs to sort out, and she'll be back with her husband and son. She needs to hire a sitter, and they'll be having a great night out this evening, so you need to wait for that. So this is the area where she would have lunch or, dinner if she's late, and she'd wash her hands. She gets very messy. She doesn't dress up formally here at all because she's a painter. Not a painter, she's an artist. So she does a lot of painting. Let me just stop her and bring her around to fix, with a stroke of her hand, some artwork that her colleague is struggling with, and he's just left it for her. And it's this one here. So let's just get her to give it a magic touch with a magic wand, and she'll be gone. So she typically gets dressed this way, and probably would wear an apron and get stained with colors all over her body, so she doesn't have to wear a suit ever when she comes here. She's an artist. So this is basically where she lives. She's a very creative soul. As I say, this is her colleague. And the piece she's working on is a very important piece, and it has to be completed, and that's why she's had to pull away from family time to get it sorted. This is the view from where she works, and as you walk in you can actually see her if she's working up top here. And this is a triple height room, I'd say it is. Yes, 3 floors all the way up to the roof, and her staff down here, and you can see her up there when you walk in, and that's how high it goes. It's a beautiful space. Well, it's time for her to get home. So Jeffrey has wrapped up nicely and the barbecue for the kids is over, but one thing has slipped. He and his wife completely forgot to call the registered agency to hire a babysitter to basically look after their son while they go out and enjoy a beautiful time on the town. But now they are stuck, so Jeffrey is just going to wrap up in the kitchen here, and I'm going to get Chrissy to make a call to friends and see who she can get last minute to come and look after her boy, because she really wants to go out and have fun with her husband. They're going to have a wonderful night on the town. Now this is quite typical. The boy is actually in his room having a wonderful time. He's happy, his friends are gone, he's just in the zone playing a game, and some random is going to come in and look after him while his mum and dad go off and have fun. It's just a little mistake that they forgot to, make the call, and when it's short notice, the company is not able to send someone out as soon as you might want. But she succeeded, and she's been able to get hold of one of her neighbors who live a little bit of a ways off from where they are, but she's going to be here any minute, and Tracy will show her around the house and let her know what the routine is for her son. Bernadette is a young adult, a neighbor of Chrissy's who's more than willing to make a quick buck, but she stood up her boyfriend in order to be here. He won't be too happy about that. So let's quickly go in and have a very, very quick tour. You might realize that during my Let's Plays, I'm going to be taking you around some of my houses and builds and public places. But this restaurant has an entrance here where you can sit down, and we have the main reception here. So you come in and you check your reservation. The statue here is beautiful. It's quite oriental. It's the fire monkey statue. We got it a few years ago. I don't remember when, but it was like a gift for the birthday or something of The Sims FreePlay. But this is where you have your host waiting to check your reservation and seat you at a table. And then we have the manager of the restaurant's office in here. It's a nice small office. This build is actually on my channel. It's called a Club and Grill. So go and look at it. As usual, there might be a few different tweaks here and there just to make it work for this view. And across the way here is where we have the closet spaces. You can hang your coats and then get into the main restaurant area and sit down in a beautiful dress. But now we have racks, so we do have an actual cloakroom. When you come back out, you can either get into the restaurant through this door or the other door on the side where the host is. It's up to you. Maybe one is an entry and one is an exit. But here is the main restaurant lounge. It's beautiful and it's clear, and I love using this Chinese wallpaper because of the inscription on it. And you can place these glass windows around in this way and only reveal the light colored inscription around, and it's just lovely. It really works for a restaurant. There's a nice skylight, and there is a club on top. Remember, it's a club grill restaurant. So you'll see what that skylight is meant to be at the top of this build. I structured the kitchen in such a way that the customers would have a clear view of the chefs, slaving away at the wonderful 5-star gourmet dishes that are being brought out from this place. And you do realize that we cannot actually cook in AR mode, but there's certainly ways to fill up a kitchen and have Sims get a hold of food and enjoy it. And then of course you've got the pizza grill, you've got the actual what's it called barbecue grill that the Sims can use in here. But I only have the one chef, and then I've got staff as hosts in the front entrance, and of course I have customers in here enjoying fine dining, and that includes Chrissy and Jeffrey. This way out leads to the male and female restrooms. We've got the men's unit here, self-contained with a sink and a mirror, and the exact same thing is replicated over across the way here for the females, except the walls are peach or pinkish in a way. So that's what we have for the restrooms, and that's the way in. And there is a fire escape out here to the back part of the restaurant. Right, so there are 4 staircases that go up to the club area where they party into the night. You've got one staircase here, all the way up, and you have another one right opposite it, right there, and straight across. If we just walk right through, and I've got to get there, just give me a minute. Right here, you've got one up this way as well, and exactly opposite this way. Let's check on Dennis. The sitter's boyfriend is annoyed that she had changed their plans to have a good night out together. So he's ordering her to go and pick up a pizza that he placed an order for. She feels badly about it and has to go. So she leaves Dennis with a complete stranger.
It's hard managing two women. I really do love my wife.
I'm really having a good time.
Look at her. She's so beautiful. I can't risk losing my son.
Leave me alone.
Take them off.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to take it off.
It's no big
I'm
deal.
going to tell my dad.
Who are you? Get out of my house.